What are you watching? I'll tell you. It's Holy Smokes with Scoochie Boochie. It's a comedy podcast where we smoke good and read the good book. It's kind of like Drunk History, but with weed and the Bible. I'm the host, Scoochie Boochie. I was born from a volcano, and now I'm the best rapper in the United States. I got rap comedy concept albums on Spotify, YouTube, and what's that on the fence? Oh, that's my merch. That's weird. How'd that get there? But I got an improv background. I got a ton of funny friends here in Chicago. So every week I invited one of them over and had them try to tell me a Bible story while blazed. And the results are hilarious. We do improv scenes based on those stories. So whether you know anything about the Bible or you're fully steeped in it, either way it's hilarious because I got funny friends, and the Bible is a wild, wild book from a very, very different time. So I hope you enjoy Holy Smokes with Scoochie Boochie. Hit like, please comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, and help us reach a goal of 4,200 followers on Instagram by 420. By April 20 of 2025, we're trying to hit 4,200 followers at Holy Smokes Pod on Instagram. Enjoy the show.
Y'all crush at baptism. Ours are lame compared to a Catholic.
Come on
baptism.
now, yours look so fun. You're all adults. You're jumping in the water. You know, you can already swim.
Mine's a pool party.
Yeah.
You can't top that.
It's a wet T-shirt party, pretty much.
Who's wet for the Lord, dude?
Everyone's wearing white T-shirts. Come on.
You a breakfast guy?
Yeah, breakfast usually toast to oatmeal. Just get like carbs early in the morning so I can, take a shit and then get on with my day.
Dude, I didn't understand oatmeal. My dad would always have it, and I'd be like, gross. But now that I need it to shit, I'm like, oh, thank God. Do you throw any fruit in there or just straight oats?
Usually like an apple or something. Or a banana if I have one.
Well, bananas, that helps you not shit. I feel like that might even out a little bit.
I think it's only when it's like green it stuffs you up.
Oh, really?
Other than that, it's like kind of neutral, I think.
I mean, you'd think it'd be perfect poop fodder just based on the consistency.
Right.
Like a soft banana, that's kind of exactly what I want.
Yeah. It's like the ideal shit. It's like a soft banana.
Did you grow up religious?
No, I grew up Catholic and I went to Catholic school, but I wasn't religious, no. We went to church on maybe a few Christmases a year or a few Christmases once in a while.
Yeah, the occasional dipping of toes.
I went to Catholic school, so they would send us.
Yeah.
They had would have church things, but it wasn't really religious. No.
We've been on a run of Catholic school, but not really Catholic folks. That's been a lot of the guests.
I think that's almost everyone I went to school with, because they had this thing one time when they gave us anti-abortion propaganda and anti-euthanasia, and everyone just started arguing with the teacher. I don't think anyone was really religious, maybe one or two guys.
Probably a surprise for those two guys. Wait, I thought we were all... What the heck?
I think they were, they've been, people shit on them all the time about being religious.
I cannot believe I'm getting bullied for being Catholic at a Catholic school.
It's the lamest thing to be.
It's like, you narc.
It's like, if you're in a regular school, you're going to be like... I just love, I love school. But
it's like worshiping.
You love the school, you dumbass.
You worship the principles. Chill. Dude, that's funny. I did Christian school all the way through, like non-denominational, more evangelical stuff. And I had friends who, at 8th grade, were like, let's go to the public school because it's just a better, bigger school. Mm-hmm. And some of them, in the long run, actually turned out more Christian. Because something about being I'm at not necessarily a Christian school, but this means something to me, I think maybe solidified it in a different way. Whereas I was just always around kind of all Christians, so it was just kind of de facto.
Yeah.
And then now I'm all set.
Yeah.
So they actually might have fucked up by Christian schooling me too much.
So do you go were you an evangelical?
Pretty much, yeah. Presbyterian was the church we went to, but we sing with guitars in church, but then also some hymns, so maybe a little more traditional than some.
Yeah.
Khakis, not jeans, but still pretty much.
Okay. Would you ever go into tongues?
No, we weren't that hardcore. Okay. That came up last episode too, I forget. So and that's honestly, that'd make a great story. Kinda wish.
I'm fascinated because since I moved here, there's way more people I meet who are who will be into tongues, or there will be that level of Christianity.
Damn.
Well, not still, but they grew up in that, you know? And I'm like, wow, there isn't... I lived near a Hillsong in Australia.
Yeah.
So that was I'd see a lot of them around.
Were they a chain? Because I knew they were big. They had their music was everywhere, and they had a huge church. They have multiple huge churches?
Yeah.
Oh, you the way you'd be near a Target. You're I'm near a Hillsong. There's one.
I think it was the headquarters.
Oh, you were near the hill?
I just happened to be in the neighborhood I lived in.
The hill where the songs come from.
Yeah. And the songs are Justin Bieber.
Yeah, essentially.
He's the biggest guy.
That's what. So they were right down the street.
Yeah.
That's why. How big was it?
It was I don't know. It felt like a small stadium.
Yeah.
Like, just like huge.
That's
huge,
wild.
Huge building, like a big rock in the middle of nowhere.
So was it a pretty small
really.
town around it?
No,
What's
no,
it?
I lived in a huge city, Sydney. I was like,
Oh, you
it's just
grew
like
up
it's
in
just a big rock.
It
But
makes sense that they'd be in Sydney. Yeah, dude, that's fucking wild. They had a documentary about there was some scandal out of there.
yeah, the main guy was like a sex pest or something, or a bad guy.
I like Pest because it's like Predator is like way more aggressive. Pest is he's just kind of bugging you.
Yeah, he's a predator. I'm sorry. It just sounds like I'm lightening up, but yeah, he's a predator. Absolutely.
Pest. He's just annoying. He's all just a pain in the ass with all his sexual crimes.
I know.
Well, actually, my buddy was like, he's like, I watched the documentary. I was kind of let down. It was not as bad of a scandal as I thought. Because that's how people watch those kind of
That's why,
documentaries.
it's like it's not, but it was
He's
still
a
bad.
pest.
Yeah, he's a pest. Yucky. Ooh, stinky.
Folks, it's Holy Smokes, where we smoke weed and tell Bible stories. I'm Scoochie Boochie. My guest is John Dunn. How you feeling?
I'm good.
Hell yeah. This is a lot of fun. Thanks for doing the show.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks.
Let's
for
get into
having
it.
me.
I'll let you pick which Bible you want to refer to if you need it. I can get the
Okay.
Precious Moments Bible for kids and the Women's Bible too.
Oh, excellent. Is it like written like to have sort of women?
So that's the kids
Stuff
one.
in it?
It just
Oh,
has,
that's a
it's
good
just
one.
the regular Bible, but with cute
Oh, it's
pictures
just
occasionally.
Kind of made easy.
Right, and that one's more of like a traditional type of translation, but it's there's devotionals for women.
Oh, awesome. What do they sound like?
They're just like, oh Lord, please let my male son marry a woman and have a bunch of kids.
Awesome.
All right, I'll go Precious Moments. So I've been just going chronologically through the Bible. It's feels like about every other chapter is something that's like a little famous, at least in Christian circles.
Yeah.
And then the other chapter is like, oh, I have no memory of this, and I'm not even sure why this is in here. So that's kind of what one of these chapters is. There's just a list of names, and Bible names are kind of fun. Stop me when you hear one you like.
Okay.
Abraham's brother Nahor had married Milcah, and Abraham was later told that they had 8 sons. Uz was their firstborn. Buz was next. And then there was Kemuel, who became the father of Aram. Their other 5 sons were Chezid, Hazo, Pildash, Jidlaph, and Bethuel. Teba, Gaham, Tahash, and Makkah. I think I nailed all of those.
So what does that mean?
It's just like a rundown of like, here's who's...
Just had a bunch of kids. I thought they were all metaphors or something. I don't.
Yeah, it's the,
I was
yeah.
trying really hard to pay attention to that one, and then like
It's
you
just a
lost me,
list
like,
of
halfway
names.
through.
That's what's crazy about the Bible. People think it's like only like narratives and like parables and stuff. This is very much a lot of it is intended of like here's a record of like what happened specifically regarding like our nation. So like a lot of it's very matter of fact. It's like this guy had this guy who had this guy. My favorite in there is definitely Uz and his brother Buzz. It was UZ and BUZ. They're like the Bruiser Brothers in a hockey movie or something.
Yeah.
They're like, they're throwing bows, dude. When Uz and Buzz are in the mix, they definitely played linemen on the football team. They were not small guys, I'm sure of it.
That's kind of how Australians name each other, like nicknames for each other, are like
Oh, yeah?
Buzz, Baz. Baz Luhrmann.
Yep.
He's called Baz for like almost no reason. It's
Just
like,
a little one syllable.
It's just
kinda.
like he was like a fan of like an athlete when he was a kid, and all his friends called him Baz, and that's the name I'm gonna have for the rest of my life.
There it is. Baz. Also, this is the story lamp. Behold.
Hell yeah. Oh, so you didn't tell the story during when the lamp was on, so
See,
minus
the
10
problem with the
points.
story problem is the story lamp is it's almost always wrong because I'm always high. So I never remember to turn it on. I also, it's touch lamp, so I'll be like gesturing and I'll accidentally turn it off and not notice. The story lamp is an illusion.
It's October, which means it's time for another exclusive Patreon video. This month, I went back through some old drawings and papers I did when I was a little kid, and I picked out the funniest ones, and holy shit, language, I was a weird little kid. It's a really funny video, only on the Patreon, patreon.com/holysmokespod. If you join right now, you get a whole backlog of ad-free episodes. You get bonus videos like Stand Up for Plants. You get 40% off on Scoochie Boochie merch, including that shirt. Oh, look at my weird little finger. And if you join the highest tier, the disciple tier, for $12 a month, you also get a custom cameo of me, Scoochie Boochie, saying whatever you want. Wish you a happy birthday, tell you to go fuck yourself, language, whatever you want. Thank you so much for supporting the show and my dream of doing comedy full time. Love you guys. I hate when people say that. No, you don't. I like you. I like that you support me. I don't know you, except I do know a lot of you that are supporting the Patreon. So thanks, Jack, and et cetera.
Have you heard of Abraham? Does it ring a bell?
It rings a bell, but I don't know anything. I don't know what he did.
So he's basically the father of
Right.
the
Okay.
Israel nation, and so we had a bunch of chapters leading up to this where God's like, I'm going to give you this land. You're going to have infinite kids. And Abraham's been like, my wife is really old, and I'm really old, and we haven't been able to have kids. And he's like, God's like, don't worry about it. So then at the buzzer, his old wife has a son named Isaac, and Abraham is pumped. Then Sarah dies. She lived to 127. Abraham's old as hell, and he calls his most trusted servant, and he says, put your hand under my thigh and make me a promise.
Uh-oh.
That was my thought, but I think it's just an oath thing because it doesn't go anywhere sexual.
Well, that's how I interpreted it as something else.
It's like, come here. I want you to promise me something. Yeah, the under thigh is such an intimate place to hold.
I know.
It's essentially like the yard of the ass.
Yeah.
It's the ass's yard.
Uh-huh.
So I guess the point is you got to be real close to be putting hands there. And he's like, hey, promise me that you're not going to have my son Isaac marry one of these local girls. Go back to our homeland, get somebody from our country to marry him. Promise me. And he's like, bet.
Hey, a little editor's note from me, Scoochie Boochie, as I'm editing this. This part, I try to tell this story, but it's just so dry and boring and confusing. I'm just going to skip it. And the funny part is what happens next. This is John piping up after several minutes of confused silence of him listening to this story.
So what's been happening up until this point?
What?
I lost track of what's happening.
Dude, same, and I'm the one reading it. It also doesn't matter if you retain this.
Yeah, I don't. It's so confusing.
Pretty much, that's the thing is there's a lot of trades that happen in the Bible. It's like, here's 8 goats.
Yeah.
Here's a bag of flour. And they're all like, everyone knows what that means.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, no, I don't. What did that mean? Here's a gold ring. And she's like, oh, shit. And I'm just like, what? So the servant is like, okay, so my master, Abraham, is in this other country, but he's loaded. And he's got a son named Isaac. Needs a wife. And they're like, okay. What's wild is they're actually pretty pumped up about finding out that they're related.
The cousin.
I guess they're cousins. So, okay, I tried to figure this out sober, the family tree here of how they're related, and I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So this is going to be impossible now that we're both on a proper zoot.
Yeah.
But...
so are you still religious?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of stopped in college, but I also went to a Christian college, so I've been around it a lot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Now I'm just a guy. It's just out here, just doing my best.
Yeah, just like the rest of us.
Now I'm just one of the guys.
Welcome to Earth. I'm just being a cunt. Sorry.
It's nice. No one ever officially they welcome you into the church. No one welcomes you into
Back
not
to
the
outside.
church.
Yeah. I guess it was the same. I kind of like stopped when I was like in high school.
Yeah.
And then Anyway.
So you were like, so there was a time when you were like down. Or no, you
I
said
like
you didn't go to
believe, but I didn't like go to church.
You were like, sounds good.
I would like pray. you know?
Yeah. Because and Catholics, I just feel like my version of Christian stuff was like so involved. It's like, let's all pray together, and like we pray a lot, like before dinner and shit.
Yeah.
And you're like really like reading the Bible and shit. Catholic, it feels more like they're better at the ceremonies, but a lot of times it's kind of just that. It's like we're going to Christmas.
Yeah.
Baptisms, like y'all crush a baptism. Ours are lame compared to a Catholic.
Come on
baptism,
now, yours look so fun. You're all adults. You're jumping in the water. You know, you can already swim.
Mine's a pool party.
Yeah.
You can't top that.
It's a wet t-shirt party, pretty much.
Who's wet for the Lord, dude?
Everyone's wearing white t-shirts. Come on.
Even the dudes are nipping out.
Yeah. Did you do that? Did you do like a big, like when you were an adult, you got baptized?
No. So ours, you could do either. Like if you didn't grow up in the church and then you join it, we'll baptize adults, no problem.
Yeah.
But that's just a little splash in the church.
Yeah.
And then if your parents are a Christian, you just as a baby get the head splash or whatever.
Yeah.
So like Baptists, like TJ who I had on earlier was like, full dunk. And he was talking about the difference. You could do river if you were hardcore, but then you got to go in a river, or you could do like. Some guy had like essentially a pool in his backyard just for this. Like it wasn't a normal pool.
Oh, wow.
It was set up just for tisms, dude.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah. I bet his kids were pissed. Like, can we not swim in that? And he's like, it's holy.
It's probably not fun to swim in. It's like too shallow. It's like you maybe put your
All you
feet
can
in.
do is just dunk.
Yeah, right.
You just do like a series of precise cannonballs. It's like your dad got you an outdoor pool, but it's just like shaped like a large barrel. And you're just like, all right, I guess I can go be submerged. That's gonna be a creepy ass kid. He's just spending time just soaking in there, just learning to hold his breath.
Yeah. He's like trying to get people to cut like a baptism party of all his friends, you know?
It's like, dude, we baptized everybody already, dude. And now I just like, I don't have any excuse to grill. Everyone's with the Lord now. He's just should have got a normal pool.
Wow, okay. Cool.
It is funny how you ever like drive by like a big like suburban thing, like if you can see it off the highway, and like sort of every other yard it's trampoline or above ground pool. Like I think that's how you know you made it into like middle class, is you have like a big circle that affects gravity somehow. That's the move. You're like, we got the deck, we got that, like college is paid for. Fun circle.
We're installing a huge health hazard into our house.
Now let's roll the dice. Kids are doing well. Let's see what they got on the flip you upside down and break your
let's
neck.
Let's see if God is real. I saw like one of those videos of like a guy jumping off a trampoline, like off his roof onto a trampoline, and he just like snaps both legs immediately as soon as he touches the trampoline. I was like, either wound too tight or something. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of trampoline sort of gone wrong.
But what they don't show you is all the times nothing went wrong. And
Exactly.
You only, if you're watching like TikToks or whatever, you're only seeing the disasters because that's all people want to see.
Yeah, my brother got into like diving.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, he got into like his like he had these friends when he was a kid who like had a trampoline, and then he got really good at like doing flips and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So then he got into the diving team because he was really good at flips.
Oh yeah.
That's one of the ones that like everything went
it
okay.
all worked out.
No one got a terrible injury or
I went
life ending it. You know.
We went to like a trampoline park my freshman year, and I was in college, and I was just like, I'd never done any sort of backflip, and they have like the really good trampolines.
Yeah,
it's not just your regular backyard one. There's pads all around it.
So safe.
Yeah.
You know, like a big thing of pillows.
And so I was like, if there was ever a time for me to learn a backflip, it'd be here. Like, it's the safest way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't just get my head around it. Like, I just couldn't like let myself fully flip.
It's like I can't.
And I just kept landing fully back on my neck, just like face down, everything else like this.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
And eventually my RA was like, you should stop trying, man. It's getting worse every time, and there's just no one cares if you can do a backflip. Like, it's never gonna be like, quick, can anybody do a backflip?
I'm just too old, you know. I just like waited too long. It's like skating. I just like didn't do it, and then I got too old, and I was like,
Definitely
I'm not gonna figure it out.
Way too late for skating.
Yeah.
That's got to be immediate.
I know. That's got to be like, I think you got to be before like your first growth spurt. You got to like get into skating.
Yeah.
Unless you're like super coordinated, which I was not, but.
Because when a kid falls down, there's not that much stuff that's fallen down. When a grown man falls down, there's a lot of like, you just hit hard and heal slow, dude.
I know.
Kids are born to fall. Like, they're going to be falling anyway. They might as well do something sick before they fall. So put them on the skateboard.
Yeah.
Did you play Tony Hawk games growing up?
Absolutely.
I had Tony Hawk 2
so
on the
good.
PS1,
Yeah.
and then 3 and 4 on the PS2 was like my heyday.
It was so good.
So good.
Yeah, 2 on the PS1 was so awesome.
It got me to go to an actual skate park, and my skateboard was one that my babysitter had given, like as a hand-me-down.
Yeah.
And the wheels were so worn down that it was like kind of the size of that ball. If you want to show the camera,
Yeah.
that's basically how big the skateboard's wheel was. So I didn't realize that actually made it like fast. And so it was like the one cool guy at the half pipe who could like actually do stuff was like, hey man, can I try your board for a second?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, because I was like a little guy.
Yeah.
And then he like did some cool stuff with it. It was like, nice wheels, that's fast. Your board is fast. And I was like, yeah.
Oh, that felt so good.
All I did was go in the half pipe and in the side and just go back and forth in the bottom. I never dropped in. I was just
that's
like,
huge.
I wouldn't even turn around. I was just kind of vibe.
Wish I could do that.
I wish there was a skate park for non-skaters because like just rolling around on those little ramps is fun, but I never want to leave the ground. I don't want to do a trick.
Yeah.
I just want to cruise.
Trampoline park got for skateboarding.
Exactly.
There's the idea. Sharks. So Isaac is the guy's son.
Yep, Abraham's son.
And he's the one getting married.
Yep, to Rebekah, who the servant just went and found.
Congrats.
Yeah, big congrats, definitely. They sent out to save the date, and the date is in like BC.
Mm-hmm.
So he's out there in the field vibing, and then Rebekah sees him from a distance. She gets off her camel. She's like, "Who's that guy?" And the servant goes, "That's the guy." So she took her veil and covered herself. It's not explained why. She's got covered up for marriage, I guess. I guess they used to do it Christmas present style. you'd never see your fiance, and then when you did see her, she'd be fully veiled up. And then on your wedding, because like, we still do the bridal veil lift, but it's transparent.
That was like seeing your wife for the first time.
Yeah, it used to be like, ta-da!
And you're like, I hope my parents did a good job picking you out. And
like, you think it's hard to like nail the like first look reaction where they take the picture the first time you see your bride in a wedding dress. Imagine it's the first look. Like, you got to nail that face. You got to be no matter what, you got to be like, all right, and it has to be genuine or you are fucked in front of everybody.
Yeah, I'd fuck it up. I'd be like, it'd smell too much,
Yikes!
Too much teeth.
Just go, oh yeah. And then the servant told Isaac the whole story again. The servant loves telling the story. It's the third time. And he brings her to his tent, and Isaac's comforted because of his new wife because his mom just died. And that's how that story ends.
Okay, so it's a happy ending.
This one actually is kind of nice, yeah. I mean, Rebekah had to leave her family forever with no day's warning, but
yeah,
at least they're related. Okay, so this is the family tree. That actually worked out. I just remembered. Okay, so the part where they're stoked. So Rebekah, the daughter there's like probably a 13% chance we actually figured this out. Like, we're just like two brain cells clanking together. All right. Rebekah.
No, we'll figure it out. I know.
Rebekah.
Abraham. Okay.
Okay, we just want to start with Abraham? Yeah. Abraham has a son, Isaac.
Yep.
Looking for somebody to marry. The girl that Isaac meets, Rebekah, is the granddaughter of Abraham's brother.
What's his name?
Nahor. That's Abraham's brother.
Nice.
He's got a kid, and that kid has Rebekah.
Yeah.
So what is your grandmother's, or your grandfather's brother's granddaughter to you? Or no, your dad's brother's granddaughter. That's what it is.
Cousin.
Is that just cousin?
Yeah. I think it's just like called cousin. It's like
is it like removed or like first cousin or something? It's just straight up cousin.
Maybe removed. I don't know.
And removed and first cousin have been explained to me multiple times, and it just
I think it's second. I think you're second cousins.
Think you're second cousins?
Yeah.
I'm gonna Google this later, but I'm not. I just want to like dwell in the mystery right now. I for some reason it's like that and like reading analog clocks are two of my lowest stats with my brain. Like when I look at an analog clock, I have to go time out. Okay, big hand. Like I'm doing it. I'm like really like scratch papering out in my head. I don't know why. I just don't have the knack.
I think I do that with like any bank paperwork, taxes. I'm just like.
I feel like they're designed that way though. Like
they really nailed my ass on that one. They really got me. Never gonna figure that out.
It's like, well, I don't know. Why do we have to figure this out?
It's the way they make the boxes so small. It's like I'm not meant to look at it.
We know how much money you owe us, but do you know? It's like, why do I have to do this test? And if I get it wrong, it's like it's the only test you take that if you fail, you have to pay money.
Yeah,
it never happened.
It's the real world. I guess schools were preparing us for the real world. It's like it's all fun and games now. But.
I would have studied a lot harder if it was like you fail this biology test. It's going to cost you cost your parents $500, and they're going to be pissed.
Yeah, they really should have just taught us how to do taxes the whole time.
100%, dude. Is that the same thing in Australia? They didn't really.
No, I mean we took accounting, but it's like they didn't in high school, but they didn't like teach us taxes, how to do your taxes.
That's like,
which would be like the best thing to learn.
I wonder if schools are like get like lobbied by like big tax companies. Like I'm talking about TurboTax and stuff. They're like, hey, schools keep not teaching this, so they still need to pay us a little chunk to do their taxes. Yeah, probably.
I imagine they lobby that, and it's like also just like the education complex probably just wants you to like just keep studying. Yeah. It's like why keep you?
Oh, like afterward as an adult, you need to study.
They like do biology. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking. I'm so fucking. I'm so stupid.
Yeah, dude. No, you got. That's why you got to study biology. They just want you to keep studying.
They want you to keep studying, dude. Which brings us into my story.
Yeah. Do you want to take a little 10-minute break before we switch over?
Yeah, could I have more tea?
Any final impressions of my story? Anything that jumped out to you?
It was so hard to keep track of what was happening. every Bible story, I'm like, what the hell is this? What are you talking about? I don't think I've ever fully read one where I've been like, yes, I understand.
Well, I definitely didn't change that impression for you.
No,
I wish
it
I had
did
had like
not.
Noah's Ark this chapter, but I'm like, I'm doing
I
it
think
start
Noah's
to
Ark, the
finish.
way it'd be written, I like wouldn't understand anything they're saying, you know?
It's got a lot of dry detail because it's written like this is historical fact. So it'll be
Yeah.
like there's 800 cubits of wood brought down
Yeah.
from the mountain, and the mountain was called. There's a lot of names you don't really need to know.
Yeah. So did your story mean anything to you?
I thought, let's see, what was funny about it? I think it's funny. There's a consistent theme of like incest is awesome as long as it's to like build your bloodline or whatever.
Yeah.
They get pumped. It's like, oh, even better, it's your cousin. Or like Abraham, after a bunch of chapters, just randomly revealed like, oh yeah, my wife is my half sister.
Yeah.
She hit him with the oh my god step bro.
I think that's just kind of how it was in those days.
I mean, there's just
that
not
was
that many
That was
people.
really normal, you know? There was just one enough people. Everyone else was like out to get you,
Yeah.
you know?
Dude, that's why it's so wild to
It's
like
sad.
be really hardline about any Bible verses about like really sexuality in general. Because like if you're gonna like take the Bible like a literal face value, like we should still follow this law. You'd be like, sure, it's not good to like lie with a man like a man, and then also incest is tight. Occasional like date rape incest is sick. Like it's just like okay, I don't think you want all the sex stuff in here to be like what we're doing, you know?
I know. Yeah.
Just a little. There's some cool stuff.
It's too much, guys.
Yeah, don't get horny advice from the Bible. It's not a horny book. It's about goat and ox transactions and bloodshed for like about 60% of it.
Yeah.
And then Jesus is like, what if we did hugs and
It's
kisses?
just about making money, is most of it.
It's honestly, Abraham has been hustling this whole time.
It's a guide to life, yeah.
This is sort of the grind set portion.
Make money at all costs. Marry your cousin if you have to. Whatever gets you that bag.
Secure the bag. We'll be right back.
Yeah, I'll have another tea.
Oh yeah, let's top it off.